family ties and covert operations, the Iron Order MC and informant tactics. The Iron Order Motorcycle Club, MC, stands as a prominent organization within the biker community, known for its distinctive identity and principles. Founded in 2004, the Iron Order MC prides itself on being a law-abiding club, often distinguishing itself from traditional outlaw motorcycle clubs. Despite this, the club has found itself under the scrutiny of law enforcement agencies, leading to various challenges and controversies. In recent years, there has been a notable increase in the use of informants by law enforcement to gather information on motorcycle clubs, including the Iron Order MC. This practice, although not new, has taken on a more complex dimension with the involvement of family members of club members as informants. Such tactics often walk the fine line between legitimate law enforcement strategies and the controversial realm of entrapment. The implications of these practices are profound, affecting not only the targeted individuals but also their families and the broader community. History of the Iron Order MC. The Iron Order Motorcycle Club, MC, was founded in 2004 by a group of motorcycle enthusiasts who sought to create a club that combined the camaraderie and brotherhood of traditional motorcycle clubs with a commitment to law-abiding principles. The founders were drawn together by their shared passion for riding and a desire to create a club that stood apart from the outlaw image commonly associated with motorcycle clubs. From its inception, the Iron Order MC emphasized a code of conduct that prioritized respect for the law and a zero-tolerance policy for illegal activities. This philosophy was reflected in the club's motto, "Damn few, we're proud," which underscored their pride in being a distinct and honorable group within the motorcycle community. The club's early years were marked by rapid growth and the establishment of chapters across the United States. Each chapter operates under the same core values and principles, fostering a sense of unity and purpose among members. The Iron Order MC's dedication to charitable activities and community involvement further solidified its reputation as a positive force within the biker world. However, despite its law-abiding stance, the Iron Order MC has not been immune to controversy. The club has faced scrutiny and criticism from both law enforcement and other motorcycle clubs. Incidents of violence and clashes with other clubs have occasionally marred its image, leading to legal battles and public disputes. One of the most notable controversies involved a deadly altercation with members of another motorcycle club, which brought significant media attention and legal challenges. Despite these incidents, the Iron Order MC continues to uphold its principles and strives to maintain a positive presence within the motorcycle community. Law enforcement tactics and informants. The use of informants by law enforcement agencies has long been a critical strategy in infiltrating and gathering intelligence on criminal organizations, including motorcycle clubs. Informants, often referred to as confidential informants or CIs, provide law enforcement with first-hand information about illegal activities, organizational structures, and key players within these groups. This practice, while effective, is fraught with ethical and legal complexities. Overview of informant use in law enforcement. Informants can be individuals who are already embedded within a target organization, or those who are recruited and placed into the organization specifically to gather intelligence. They may be motivated by various factors, including financial incentives, immunity from prosecution, or personal vendettas. In many cases, informants are individuals who have been apprehended by law enforcement and are offered reduced sentences or other benefits in exchange for their cooperation. The deployment of informants within motorcycle clubs like the Iron Order MC involves significant risks and challenges. Informants must gain the trust of club members, often participating in club activities and adopting the club's lifestyle to avoid suspicion. This deep level of infiltration can lead to ethical dilemmas, particularly when informants are compelled to participate in or witness illegal activities without immediate intervention from law enforcement. Specific cases and examples involving the Iron Order MC. While the Iron Order MC claims to be a law-abiding club, it has not been immune to the scrutiny of law enforcement agencies. There have been instances where law enforcement has used informants to investigate alleged illegal activities within the club. These investigations have sometimes resulted in high-profile cases that have brought significant attention to the club and its members. One notable case involved an informant who successfully infiltrated the Iron Order MC and provided law enforcement with critical information about the club's operations. The informant's efforts led to several arrests and convictions, highlighting the effectiveness of this tactic. However, the use of informants also raises questions about the methods employed by law enforcement and the potential for entrapment. Entrapment and ethical concerns. Entrapment occurs when law enforcement induces an individual to commit a crime that they would not have otherwise committed. This controversial tactic is particularly relevant when discussing the use of informants, as it can blur the line between legitimate investigation and coercion. The involvement of family members as informants adds another layer of ethical complexity. In some cases, law enforcement has reportedly pressured family members of Iron Order MC members to act as informants, leveraging familial bonds to gather information. This practice can have devastating effects on family dynamics and trust. The psychological toll on both the informants and the club members can be significant, raising questions about the morality and legality of such tactics. Impact on families and members. The practice of using family members as informants in law enforcement investigations, especially within tight-knit organizations like motorcycle clubs, can have profound and far-reaching effects. The Iron Order Motorcycle Club (MC), with its emphasis on brotherhood and loyalty, presents a unique and challenging environment for informants, particularly those who are closely related to club members. Personal stories and examples of family members as informants. One of the most emotionally charged aspects of using family members as informants is the personal betrayal it entails. When law enforcement pressures or convinces a family member to provide information about their loved ones, it creates a profound rift in familial relationships. The bonds of trust and loyalty that are central to both family life and the ethos of the Iron Order MC can be irreparably damaged. For instance, there have been reports of spouses, siblings, and even children being approached by law enforcement to act as informants. These individuals are often placed in an agonizing position, torn between their loyalty to their family and the pressures or incentives offered by law enforcement. In some cases, family members have reported feeling coerced or threatened into cooperating, adding to the psychological burden they carry. Psychological and social effects on informants and club members. The psychological impact on family members who become informants can be severe. They may experience feelings of guilt, anxiety, and isolation, knowing that their actions could lead to the arrest or imprisonment of their loved ones. The stress of maintaining a facade and living a double life can take a significant toll on their mental health. Similarly, club members who discover that a family member has been acting as an informant often feel an acute sense of betrayal and anger. This can lead to a breakdown in family relationships and a loss of trust not only within the family but also within the club itself. The close-knit nature of the Iron Order MC means that any breach of trust can have a ripple effect, affecting the entire chapter or even the broader organization. The social consequences of these actions can be equally damaging. Informants may be ostracized by their families and communities, while club members may face increased scrutiny and suspicion from both law enforcement and their peers. The stigma associated with being an informant or being related to one can linger long after the investigation has concluded, creating lasting divisions and animosities. The role of law enforcement. Law enforcement agencies must navigate these sensitive dynamics with care. While the use of informants can be an effective tool for gathering intelligence and preventing criminal activities, the ethical implications of involving family members cannot be overlooked. Agencies must consider the potential harm to individuals and families, weighing the benefits of their investigative tactics against the personal costs. In some cases, law enforcement has implemented support systems to help informants cope with the psychological and social challenges they face. These may include counseling services, relocation programs, and financial assistance. However, the effectiveness of these measures can vary, and the long-term impact on informants and their families often remains significant. Legal and ethical considerations. The use of informants, especially family members, in law enforcement investigations raises a host of legal and ethical questions. These considerations are critical in evaluating the methods employed by authorities and their broader impact on individuals and society. Legal aspects of entrapment and informant use. Entrapment is a legal defense that argues an individual was induced by law enforcement to commit a crime they would not have otherwise committed. This defense hinges on proving that the government's conduct created a substantial risk that an innocent person would be induced to commit the offense. In the context of using informants, particularly family members, the line between legitimate law enforcement tactics and entrapment can become blurred. In the United States, entrapment is governed by both federal and state laws. The legal standards for entrapment can vary, but generally it requires showing that the defendant was not predisposed to commit the crime and that law enforcement's actions were the primary cause of the criminal behavior. This can be particularly challenging to prove, as it often involves a subjective evaluation of the defendant's state of mind and intentions. The involvement of family members as informants adds another layer of complexity. Courts may consider the psychological and emotional pressures faced by informants when evaluating claims of entrapment. The use of familial relationships to gain information can be seen as coercive, raising questions about the voluntariness of the informant's actions. Ethical implications and public opinion. The ethical considerations surrounding the use of informants, particularly family members, are significant. Law enforcement agencies must balance the need for effective investigation with respect for individual rights and the potential harm to families and communities. The use of informants can be seen as a necessary tool in combating crime, but it also poses risks of abuse and misconduct. One of the primary ethical concerns is the potential for coercion. Family members may feel compelled to act as informants due to pressure from law enforcement, fear of legal repercussions, or a desire to protect their loved ones. This coercion can undermine the integrity of the information gathered and raise questions about the fairness of the investigative process. Public opinion on the use of informants is often divided. While some people view it as a necessary and effective strategy for combating crime, others see it as an invasion of privacy and an infringement on individual rights. The use of family members as informants is particularly controversial, as it can be perceived as exploiting vulnerable relationships for investigative gain. Balancing effectiveness and ethics. Law enforcement agencies must carefully navigate the legal and ethical landscape when using informants. This includes implementing guidelines and oversight mechanisms to ensure that informant use is conducted in a lawful and ethical manner. Agencies may establish protocols for recruiting and managing informants, providing training to officers on ethical considerations, and offering support services to informants and their families. Transparency and accountability are also critical in maintaining public trust. Law enforcement agencies can benefit from engaging with communities, providing clear information about their practices, and addressing concerns about the use of informants. This can help build a more collaborative and supportive environment for law enforcement efforts. Ultimately, the challenge lies in balancing the need for effective investigation with respect for individual rights and ethical principles. The use of informants, particularly family members, requires a nuanced and careful approach that considers the potential impact on individuals, families, and society as a whole. Conclusion. The Iron Order Motorcycle Club, NC, with its commitment to law-abiding principles, presents a unique case within the world of motorcycle clubs. Despite its efforts to maintain a positive image, the club has faced significant scrutiny from law enforcement agencies. The increasing use of informants, particularly family members, highlights the complexities and challenges of investigating such organizations. The history of the Iron Order, NC, reveals a club that strives to balance the camaraderie and brotherhood of traditional motorcycle clubs, with a commitment to legality and community involvement. However, the controversies and legal battles the club has faced demonstrate the difficulties of navigating this balance. Law enforcement's use of informants is a critical tool in gathering intelligence and preventing criminal activities, but it comes with significant ethical and legal considerations. The involvement of family members as informants, in particular, raises questions about coercion, trust, and the psychological impact on individuals and families. These tactics can have profound effects on personal relationships and community dynamics, often leaving lasting scars. The legal framework surrounding entrapment and informant use is complex, requiring careful consideration of individual rights and the potential for abuse. While informants can provide valuable insights and contribute to law enforcement efforts, their use must be conducted within the bounds of legality and ethical principles. Ultimately, the case of the Iron Order, NC, underscores the broader challenges faced by law enforcement in addressing organized crime while respecting individual rights and maintaining public trust. The balance between effective investigation and ethical considerations is delicate, requiring transparency, accountability, and a commitment to upholding the values of justice and fairness. This article was converted for free by the courtesy of AudioRaid. If you enjoy the service, please consider upgrading your plan to listen to up to 500,000 words per article. Simply go to audioread.com/ad and you'll see the upgrade option. Your support helps us keep making the service better. Thank you.